Today I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to remove toxic people from your life. Just like any toxic thing, it can be very draining and dangerous if we let toxic relationships get too far. The bottom line is that no one actually wants or decides to have toxic people in their lives, but somehow they end up in our close circles before we realize it. It's worth noting that there is a difference though, between people who are truly toxic to your well-being and people who have a negative outlook because they struggle with depression or hardships and can't see a way out. But interacting with toxic people who are constantly draining the life out of you with constant negativity, complaints, gossip, selfishness, or extreme dependency are damaging. They cut you down or manipulate you to their own advantage, which can take a toll on your own mental health, causing depression or anxiety, and it can be difficult to distance yourself from them also. If you hang out with these people too often, you are likely to develop negative thinking yourself, and we all know how important it is to focus on the positive to attract better things into our lives. Toxic people can try to cling on, sometimes for years. They can make you feel guilty for not wanting to communicate with them, and because of that, are not always easy to remove from your life. You need to understand a typical cycle that toxic people follow, as being aware of this will help you in establishing boundaries. First, they are charming, and this is when they will get you. They will be attentive, loving, and impressive, but all of this will be to get you into position. When they have your trust, you will start to see the cracks. There will be increasing demands, draining your emotional resources. Then there will be the crisis, the test. You will feel stuck, whether or not to give them what they want, so you will feel compromised. Finally, you will do what they want because you don't want to be unreasonable or cause more drama, and then they are back to charming you and giving you just enough of what you need to make you stay. The problem is that this never lasts for long and always comes at a cost. You need to be aware of this cycle and use it to build your boundaries on a solid foundation. Here is a list of the warning signs to watch out for that you may be dealing with a toxic person in your life. You feel like you're being manipulated into something you don't want to do, and due to that, often feel emotionally abused. There's a tendency to create drama or conflict, and you feel like you deserve an apology that never comes. You always have to defend yourself to this person. There's the tendency towards constant self-absorption or self-centeredness, so it's always about them. You continually feel bad about yourself in their presence, and due to that, you never feel fully comfortable around them. There's often dishonesty and deceit. I'm not talking about white lies here. I'm talking about blatant and repeated patterns of dishonesty. Difficulty offering compassion to others because they're going to find ways to be right even when they're not. They rarely, if ever, admit when they've stepped out of line. I'm sure many of you can relate to this list, and freeing yourself of toxic relationships is not easy. So when you feel your happiness and growth is being sabotaged, if all attempts to improve the relationship fail, and you've come to the realization that you have to move on once and for all, there are 3 steps you can take to remove toxic people from your life. Number 1, make a firm decision that enough is enough. Decide that you won't be anyone's victim anymore. To put it simply, you can't reason with toxic people. That's one of the things that makes them toxic. So make a firm decision to stand strong and remove them from your life. It's likely that the toxic people in your life will not go away that easily. They may even make it harder for you and refuse to leave you alone, but don't let this happen. Be very clear about your decision and don't give in. They will try to change your mind by manipulation or causing a tantrum to make you bend because you may have a soft heart, but just remember that you're not dealing with someone who is motivated by what's good for you or your relationship, but purely about what is good for them, and this will always be the case. Number 2, set boundaries. Take it from me. Toxic people don't do well with boundaries and almost always disregard it. They tend to want to control others and pretty much anything around them. If you're always telling someone to stop behaving a certain way and they continue to do so, then it's time to take a stand and set boundaries because toxic people thrive on violating them. You need to have the courage to firmly tell a toxic person the truth. Not only is this the only way to remove a damaging relationship from your life, but that person needs to know that you won't stand for it anymore. He or she may or may not change, but that's up to the individual, not you. The one thing you have control over is your own actions. So once you firmly decide you've had enough, take control back of your own life, and only you can change it by choosing who can be a part of it. Number 3, focus on the solution. Finally, removing toxic people from your life can be painful, as you may deeply care for some of these people in spite of how difficult it is to have them in your life. To cope with any sadness, stay in close contact with those who make you feel safe, valued, and happy. These are the people who will model healthy relationships and friendships, reminding you exactly why you are choosing to remove the toxic ones. To conclude, cutting people out of your life is one of the most challenging things you will ever do. And it's also one of the most liberating and life-changing decisions you'll ever make because you're prioritizing your happiness over someone else's dysfunction. Most importantly, removing toxic people out of your life sends a key message to yourself saying, I am worthy. Once you recognize how toxic people can erode this basic sense of self-worth, it becomes harder and harder to allow them to exist in your life. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure you hit the like button so it can reach more and more people. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so, as all the content on this channel is to provide you with the tools to create a positive change in your life. I will see you very soon in my next video. Till then, stay safe and stay blessed.